The studio lights buzzed with their usual midday intensity, casting a warm glow over the loose women's set where the audience of mostly women in their 40s and 50s settled into their seats, sipping tea from paper cups and chatting animatedly about the latest headlines. Denise Welch, the fiery Geordie actress known for her unfiltered opinions and sharp wit, adjusted her microphone with a practiced hand, her blonde hair perfectly tousled, wearing a vibrant red blouse that matched her bold personality. She had been a staple on the show for over 2 decades, her journey from Coronation Street's Natalie Barnes to a vocal advocate for mental health making her a beloved, if controversial, figure. Today, the panel included her longtime co-hosts, the elegant Kay Adams, ever the mediator with her Scottish lilt, the no-nonsense Colleen Nolan, whose laughter could cut through tension like a knife, and the newcomer, a fresh face named Lisa, whose enthusiasm for celebrity gossip was infectious. The topic du jour was announced by the floor manager, a debate on the merits of method acting in modern cinema, sparked by recent award season buzz around intense performances that blurred the line between role and reality. Denise leaned forward, her eyes sparkling with anticipation, as the audience applauded the intro music fading out. Little did they know, this seemingly innocuous discussion would unravel into one of the most memorable on-air meltdowns in the show's history. As Kay kicked things off with a light-hearted quip about actors who stay in character off-set, Denise nodded vigorously, ready to dive in. "I've done my fair share of deep dives into characters," she began, her voice carrying that unmistakable Tyneside accent, "but there's a point where it stops being dedication and starts being delusion. You can't let a role consume you to the point of forgetting who you are." The heart of the clash pulsed as Sean's measured Yorkshire pragmatism collided head-on with Denise's passionate, experience-forged fervor, the panel's desk becoming a metaphorical battlefield strewn with half-finished coffees and scattered note cards. Denise's voice, usually a melodic lilt laced with humor, now carried the weight of unhealed scars from her career's darker chapters, the postpartum depression that shadowed her Corrie exit, the tabloid scrutiny that amplified her vulnerabilities. "Passion? It's a bloody trap, Sean," she exclaimed, her Geordie vowel stretching the words like taffy pulled too tight. "You waltz in with your swords and dragons, dying dramatically every scene, but what about the quiet deaths off camera? The ones no one applauds?" The audience gasped collectively, a ripple of solidarity from those who knew her story, mixed with shock from casual viewers tuning in for the celebrity sparkle. Sean, unflappable on screen where arrows felled him repeatedly, paused, his fingers drumming lightly on the armrest, a telltale sign of engagement rather than irritation. "Denise, I've buried more characters than most, but each one's a lesson in resilience. You don't get to Sharp's edge without risking the fall." His analogy, drawn from his iconic rifleman role, was meant to bridge, but to Denise, it echoed the very machismo she railed against in an industry that lionized suffering. Colleen, sensing the temperature rise, jumped in with her trademark bluntness. "Lads, this is getting deep. Sean Spill, ever had a role that haunted you after rap?" It was a lifeline, but Sean, perhaps fueled by the live-wire atmosphere or a genuine philosophical divide, doubled down. "Haunted? Lad, every role leaves a mark, but that's the beauty. Without the ghosts, you're just play-actin'." The word play-acting was the match to Denise's fuse. Her eyes narrowed, the red of her blouse seeming to deepen under the lights as blood rushed to her face. Tension coiled tighter with each passing exchange, the studio's once cozy ambience now crackling like a live wire exposed, as Denise's defenses rose higher against what she perceived as Sean's armored nonchalance, his words landing as shields rather than bridges in her battle-scarred psyche. The audience, a sea of faces lit by the glow of overhead spots, shifted from entertained spectators to invested partisans, some nodding fervently at Denise's barbs, others murmuring sympathy for the guest caught in the crossfire. "Bled for this?" "Spare me the martyrdom, Sean," Denise retorted, her voice a whip-crack that silenced the room momentarily. "You've got residuals rolling in from Hobbit fests while the rest of us hustle for the next audition, pretending we're fine when we're fracturing inside." Her hands gestured wildly, knocking over a water pitcher that spilled across the desk, the splash metaphorically mirroring the emotional deluge. Crew members offstage froze, towels at the ready, but eyes glued to the unfolding drama. Sean, drawing on decades of portraying stoic heroes, maintained composure, though his knuckles whitened on the chair arms. "Fracturing? That's dramatic, Denise, even for you. We all hustle, it's the game. But wallowing in it? That's a choice." The accusation of wallowing struck at her core, evoking memories of tabloid headlines branding her unstable after breakdowns, the stigma that clung like smoke. "A choice? Like depression's a bloody hobby," she fired back, tears pricking her eyes but refused release, her chin lifting defiantly. Colleen, the peacemaker with a singer's timing, interjected, "Whoa, let's not go there, Sean's not saying that." But the seed was sown, doubt creeping into the guest's earnestness. With the Q&A serving as a fragile truce, the studio's atmosphere simmered like a pot on low boil, bubbles of unresolved friction rising sporadically as audience questions veered from safe harbors, favorite deaths, dream roles, into choppier waters that tugged at the earlier wounds. A woman in the third row, clutching a faded Lord of the Rings poster, stood trembling. "Sean, how do you handle the emotional toll of all those tragic ends?" The crowd leaned in, the question a velvet glove around the iron fist of Denise's earlier crusade. Sean, gracious host to his fans, smiled warmly, his voice a soothing baritone. "Ah, each one's a little death, but they teach you life, don't they?
Winterfell est folle?"
That broke me heart, but it mended stronger." Applause rippled, genuine and heartfelt, but Denise's lips pursed, the romanticism grating anew. "Stronger? Or just scarred over?" she muttered, Mike picking it up for an unintended aside that drew chuckles and a few here calls. Kay shot her a warning glance, but the horse was bolting. Emboldened, another fan, a silver-haired retiree with a loose women tote, piped up, "Denise, love your honesty today. How do you protect your mental health on set?" The spotlight swung back, and Denise seized it, her posture straightening like a warrior donning armor. "Protect? You armor up best you can, boundaries, therapy, no to the directors who think realism means reliving trauma sans safety net." Nods abounded, the audience a chorus of affirmation. Sean interjected gently, wise words. "Sets now have intimacy coordinators, wellness checks, progress, aye." But to Denise, it was progress too slow, too selective.
Progress for the Alistair, Sean. Indie?
Soap operas?
Steve Wild West. Dig deeper till you hit bedrock and crack.
Her analogy evoked gritty northern minds, tying back to their shared heritage, but laced with accusation. Backstage chaos erupted in muffled waves as Denise retreated into the labyrinth of dressing rooms and costume racks, the heavy door slamming behind her with a finality that reverberated through the concrete corridors, her breaths coming in ragged gasps that echoed off the walls lined with faded headshots of past guests. The air back here was cooler, tinged with the scent of hairspray and stale coffee from the green room, a stark contrast to the studio's hothouse intensity. She slid down against a stack of unused set pieces, props from holiday specials, glittering but forgotten, her red blouse now rumpled, mascara streaking like war paint from a battle hard one. Phones vibrated incessantly in her pocket. Kay's "Call me XX," Colleen's voice note pleading "come back," "you're shaking the nation," even a producer's curt "we need you on set," ratings through roof. But Denise ignored them, head in hands, the adrenaline crash hitting like a freight train. Flashes assaulted her, Sean's puzzled expression, the audience's roar, the mic cord snapping free like a declaration of independence. "What have I done?" she whispered to the empty space, but deep down, a defiant spark glowed. This was truth-telling, not tantrum, the unburdening of years silenced by scripts and smiles. Meanwhile in the studio, the intermission stretched awkwardly, the house lights half up as crew mopped the spill and reset chairs, the audience buzzing like a hive disturbed. Sean Bean sat statue still, nursing a water bottle, his trench coat draped over the guest chair like a fallen banner. Kay huddled with him, her Scottish pragmatism in full force. "She's passionate, Sean, been through the ringer. No hard feelings." He nodded slowly, rubbing his beard thoughtfully. "None, Kay. Respect the fire, even if it singes. Reminds me of a scene in Patriot Games. Tempers flare, truths emerge.